Hey, welcome back. It's Monday again. Yay, right? Hip hip hooray. Tired as shit. So I think I'm going to start figuring out a way to, well, I guess I can. I can live stream to Twitch from my phone. I'm thinking about doing that now, too, while I'm recording my episodes, so I can get all this done and then have a stream going at the same time in the morning on my way to work. I don't know how lucrative that will be or whatever, because, it's pretty early in the morning, and I don't know how many people will actually tune in to watch a live stream in the morning, but whatever. It won't hurt. At least I don't think. Who knows? It might. I mean, it can't make it any worse. It can't, do anything worse, right? But, yeah, that's my next goal, is to start doing that, too. See if that does anything. I feel like it would be interesting, at least. Give me some, give me one more platform. Talk my nonsense on, right? Whatever. But last thing I put out was that whole cult thing about the Transcension Project. I mean, I actually got some feedback on that one. Outside of actually listening to the audio version of it, I mean, that one's done the best out of everything I've made so far. So, that was cool, right? But, I don't really have too much to talk about, honestly. There we go. I'll put my nicotine gum in my cheek. God. Wish I never quit. I wish I never started smoking. Such a dumb choice on my part. I thought I was cool when I was 14. So. But there's I've been basically just lurking on Reddit for the entire weekend. And coming across culty shit. I saw this, I stumbled across the video of the DC bomber talking to himself and about everything while on his way to DC. And holy shit. You couldn't understand a goddamn word that motherfucker said. It was... You could make out some here and there, but for the most part, God, his southern accent was so bad that you couldn't fucking understand it. It was thick. But it was fucking creepy, because he just kind of kept repeating himself about... I'm here for the American people. The American people sent me here. And something about, if they take me out and a bullet comes into my truck through my windshield, this truck's gonna blow up. It was just a bunch of psychoticness, honestly. Dude wasn't stable. But That was really... That was crazy to watch, honestly. That kind of shit. You can find some interesting shit on Reddit sometimes. And, but that's... I really don't have any specific topic to talk about today, which is kind of depressing, because the last one I did, I went on a giant rant about, but today it's just kind of like, it's Monday, don't really have anything, there's a dead deer on the side of the road. That's, yeah, Mondays I feel like are always the hardest, because I come out of a weekend where I'm not really doing much, and then, like, well, should probably put something out, right? Who knows? Well, fuck it. Maybe I'll think of something at some point, but for the most part, got nothing. Nothing at all. Besides the fact that, well, I talk about all the same shit over and over again. I don't really want to do that anymore. I'm trying to find some new stuff, you know, less current eventy. I guess you would say less current eventy. That would make more sense for me. I guess I don't know. Should probably start looking into a little bit some more things than I already do. Or find something that actually really piques my interest. Because you can only say the same things over and over again before it gets extremely repetitive and people tune out and go, well, you said this about 5 times now, we don't want to hear that. Do you got something else? Right? Like everything going on right now with mandates and shit like that. I've talked about it so much, and what's the point of bringing it back up again when you can listen to older episodes when it's literally the same thing, right? Why make something new when it's been the same thing for like over a year and a half? Well, yeah. Not like that much has changed, except that there's like, now I keep hearing rumors of water running out, or some places aren't going to have water, and shit like that. People are stocking up on mad water. Don't get it, man. Like, the supply chains are dwindling. Like, even at work, we're getting a hit. I'm a screen printer, so we use like we use chemicals to clean like stuff up off of it. We just use chemicals. We use ink, there's a couple different variations of it, but all ink is on a worldwide shortage right now. I guess it has to do with like some resin they use. I'm not sure what the resin's called, but on Friday we were all talking about it at work, because we're getting fucking slammed right now, okay? And when you're getting slammed, you roll through a product like a lot. Okay, and doing that and not being able to re-up our supply is kind of giving us a little bit of a worry, because we have a lot of shit to do, and we don't want to have to wait on, we don't want to have to worry as much about, well, we're running low now, so we should probably order when you can't. And also, the next time we can order is sometime in July. Why the fuck I say that? Sometime in September. So, I don't remember the date. I think it was around the beginning of September, so it's not that far away. I think it's like 2 weeks away or so, but still, you could go through a lot of shit in 2 weeks. But, what was I saying? What was I trying to get at? Oh, okay, yeah. God, I completely spaced out for a second on what I was trying to remember I was going to talk about. But we're going to be able to order again sometime around the beginning of September. But the thing is, they're putting caps on everything that people order. So, like, they averaged what we normally spend, I think, monthly, like, in a year. They did an average on what we spent for the most part. Like, out of everything we ordered, they average it to see how much money we spend, like, typically on an order, right, from this company. And they're saying, well, you can only spend this average, and then after that, I don't think we can order again until like October. But think about it. So, we're not a giant shop or anything like that, okay? And we're gonna have a cap, okay? I mean, we have stuff. We have supplies and everything on stock still, so I mean, it's not that much of an issue. There's just certain colors of ink that you plow through like a bulldozer, okay? And no matter how much you have, you're going to have to keep buying it over and over again. It's just such a typical color, like white and black, right? White ink and black ink, you're constantly... It's like you're basically just pouring it out, because there's so many things that get those colors. Really, white ink's like the worst. Like, it's on fucking everything. You can't get something. Like, out of every order that we get, there's probably maybe... We probably go through like 20 to 30 orders a day, I would say. And that's pretty good, considering there's only 3 of us. And, I would say maybe like 1 or 2 orders out of all of those don't have white ink on them at all. So, you can understand how much we would, like, plow through that stuff. But, yeah, and just, so think of, like, little shops and stuff like that. Like, ones that don't spend, like, hundreds and hundreds of dollars on product and stuff like that. That means they're only going to be able to get what they spend on an average. So sometimes they could, actually have to spend a good chunk of money. Other times, they may only need 1 or 2 things. And normally they're not buying like gallons upon gallons of ink. These guys would be buying like quarts and maybe like a gallon of white ink and stuff like that, And so this is going to screw all of them over, right? Because their average is going to be way lower. So that means they can only purchase a certain amount of product, and they can't go over that spending limit. Say they actually need more than what they're allowed to buy at that time. Like, for whatever reason, okay? Say their limit is like $100 or something like that. I don't know, $200. So, god damn it. I need to get a new phone stand. But, so, if their limit's only like... I'm probably being generous here with it. $200. They're not going to be able to... They'd have to really think about what they need. Like, okay, do we actually need this color? Or do we need more of this and this, right? Like, do we need glue do we need? And that stuff isn't cheap at all. Like ink, glue, all of it, not cheap. If you don't, I think it's going to hurt. I think this whole cap on spending for, like, in our industry is going to hurt some of the businesses. I mean, I don't think there's much to do about it, but it's definitely going to hurt people because they won't be able to purchase what they need at whenever they want it in. That mean, because like I was saying with the little guys, the tiny shops, whatever, like they probably only have on hand what they need, maybe a little bit more. But I mean, if you're not going to be able to make another purchase within a month, that means they're going to have to decide between getting the ink or colors they need or other product that they need. I mean, they probably have multiple suppliers that they use, hopefully, so that might make it a little bit easier on them and stuff, but still, having a cap is going to hurt some of the smaller businesses. And what it's going to do, though, which was a good thing in a situation like this, having a cap, the big mega print shops, it's not going to allow them to swoop in and buy up their entire fucking stock. And in theory, put all of their competitors out. Or any smaller shops in their vicinity, you know. Anything like that. Anything along those lines. They won't be able to go in and just be like, I need this, this, this. I need all of that, and give me this too. Right? That's one thing that could be good. Another, but what could also probably hurt like bigger shops like that is they might not have enough product to actually fulfill what they need. Like, I used to work in a shop that would go through 55-gallon drums of white ink like it was nothing. Like, probably like a month or so, we would go through that shit. And maybe, well, we had like 2 of them. We had one for each side of our, I think we had 2. I don't know, but it didn't take that long to go through, honestly. Like, it felt like as soon as we tapped that bitch, the next thing you know is you're in there half my body trying to scoop fucking ink out of the bottom. But that might be something that those bigger shops run into, is that they're going to have issues fulfilling orders like that, because that's probably going to be what they get, honestly, is. Bigger shops aren't going to have to worry about colors for the most part. They don't buy them, they make them. But they're probably going to be, that might take a toll on some of them, because fulfillment issues, right? I mean, stores are becoming more empty. Like, the supply chains are just not keeping up with demand. You can definitely see there's tolls being, like, there's issues, you know? I mean, it's not, like, horrifying yet, but you can see it. Like, it's there. And, like, it's starting to make me want to stock up kind of on, like, water and some non-perishable shit, just in case. Like, really stock up. At least on water. Because if the water goes, I don't think people have seen how bad things can get. Especially here. Not able to have water. People will lose their fucking shit. Not even over drinking it. What? I can't have a hot shower now? The fuck do you mean I can't shower? I can't wash my balls, bro? Like, I think that's where it's going to start, is, oh, we can't shower. Let's freak out. Like, I'm more worried about hydrating myself than my ass stinking. Like, you can survive with the smell of butt around, everybody. You know, having ball sweat isn't the end. Having, being stinky is not the end all. Not being able to hydrate yourself is basically the end all. You can survive without food for a long time. Water, not so much. That's basic. And I don't know if it's as bad as it's like some are talking about, but I feel like a lot of it's just kind of like fear-mongering too, coming from like the collapse side of things in a way, because they're so I don't know how to put it. They're anything that can be seen as collapse worthy is, I feel like, gets blown out of proportion in a way. I might be wrong, but I just feel like everything is some form of fear-mongering, trying to get people worked up, like, the water might disappear, or some shit like that. Like, okay, it might, but let's not talk about it until there's actually a certainty that this might come around, okay? Like, I get it, Florida's having that issue, but not everywhere else. As far as I know, Florida might have that in the near future, some kind of water filtration or water, whatever. They, basically make it able to be drank and shit like that. Think. Not exactly sure. But it doesn't seem like that's anywhere else, honestly, but, I mean, I don't know. I try not to really dig too deep into that kind of shit, because then you get into things where it's like, okay, well, this is obviously completely nuts. I mean, I understand that collapse is a very big possibility, especially around now, because with everything that's been going on, like, I feel like the economy and the supply chains have taken such a huge hit that it's definitely caused some fucking issues, man. Like, you can't really rely on things being there on time and shit anymore, or certain things just aren't being produced enough. That's the problem with what's it called? At-will supply chain, or at-will whatever. Can't think of what it is, but just having enough product on hand to sell to make it until the next shipment arrives. You don't have any storage. You don't have anything on, like, in the back, right? It's all, well, this is what we have, and this is all of what we have. And once this is gone, we don't have anything else on reserve to possibly get us out of a bad situation. Especially with the heap of panic buying and shit like that, people wanting to go out and buy they all want to go out and buy the same thing, like, the same fucking thing, and mass quantities of it. That doesn't help that kind of shit. Like, the panic buying is definitely a big play into the supply chain issues as well, because think of it. I mean, they only have so much on hand. They only predict that they're only going to need so much. So only so much gets shipped, gets taken to so much gets distributed, right? And when you have a bunch of people in a panic going out and buying tons of the same shit, well, it kind of goes away, because they can't they can't restock as fast as they are buying. And that seems to be a really big problem. At least, well, one of the fucking problems, I should say, is that by the time the shit gets there, people are already buying it all out. They're not, I don't think they're able to adjust their supply and demand needs, and possibly their creation methods, like the amount they create, the amount they produce, right? It seems like that's another thing too. Like, they're not changing their production rate or anything. It's just staying the same, maybe? I don't know. I haven't really looked that much into it, but I think the keeping the production rate the same, the supply distribution basically the same, and then having issues with the supply chain, with things getting there and whatnot too, so things aren't a locked-in date anymore. It kind of comes when things are able to get there, and then people also having spurts of panic buying. It's just not good. I just don't see it holding up very well. I mean, could be wrong. Things could end up fixing themselves, but who knows? To me, it just doesn't seem like things are going to get too much better. We're probably going to be living in a state of like this for quite a long time, where, well, if something's out of stock, you might have to wait a really long time to get it in, because don't know when it's going to come back, which is pretty fucking scary if you ask me, in a way, depending on what it is. I mean, if it's just like mac and cheese, you can live with it, you know, but if the food supply chain keeps, like, dwindles and dwindles and dwindles, it's going to cause issues, because there's only going to be, eventually people could outbuy the stores, going in, like, it's like, okay, it's the monthly day, everybody has to rush to the store and buy all the food they can before it gets bought out. I mean, I don't foresee that happening anytime soon, but, I mean, that's something that could happen at some point in time, I guess, if things keep getting worse and worse, but I don't know. Everything's fucking wild right now. I mean, you're seeing hits in it everywhere, like I said. Like, it's even hitting my profession, okay? And that has absolutely nothing to do with any of the other shit that, like, food, what else is taking a hit? I mean, I really notice it in the grocery stores, for real, but, like, nothing to do with, like, food supply chains or anything along those lines. It's on a whole different level, unless it's all getting, I don't know how, like, supply chains, like, how the shipments and everything work. They probably all kind of get shipped together in a certain sense, but, I mean, they're two vastly different areas in the market. And when you're seeing something on, like, polar opposite sides having issues, that means there's, like, issues fucking everywhere. It's to some degree. I mean, they still haven't restocked PS5s. So, I mean, they're having issues in the tech world still, but, you know, they can't restock PS5s or create them, but they can create all the shit they need for the billionaires to go fly up into outer space and play with their Winkies. Right? That's what I don't get that either. Like, okay, so You're allowing these dickheads to buy up all the things that possibly other places need, like probably chips and shit that need to go into car manufacturing, other forms of tech, because certain chips are universal. I mean, the one for the PS5 that is, I think, the reason why it's not stocked still. Goes in fucking rockets. God knows what else. It basically goes in fucking everything, it seems like. So, I mean, they're obviously getting their fill of products, but that's also probably because they're going, well, I'll overpay to get these. And they're like, well, okay, fuck it. Right? Money talks, bullshit walks. Which is a pretty shitty way to do business. Plus, that also leads to the whole, the rich have more, we all know that though. The rich will have luxury and more ability to acquire things in the future if things become harder and harder to get. Because they will be more willing to pay more money for anything. Like, well, I want a hamburger, but they're expensive. I'm not paying like $10 for a fucking hamburger. So the rich will buy it, or they will buy all of them at a higher price. Like, you know what I mean? Like, stuff along those lines. They'll be able to acquire things that we won't be able to due to money. And that is how that will go. They'll just keep... It's bullshit, but that is what will happen. If you have the money to throw around, then you have a better chance of getting whatever the hell you want. You know? So, there's that. But I really don't... I don't think it's going to be as bad as I've seen like a few people talk about with that are collapse aware or whatever. I mean, it might not get that. It might not get as I don't think it's as bad as it is. I mean, it's really not. It's just kind of supply chain issues and shit like that. I mean, I don't really pay too much attention about that shit though. So I mean, I don't know what's getting hurt and what's not. So, I mean, gas has gone up like $2 since I moved here. Like, when I first got here, it was like $1 something. Now it's almost $3. So, yeah, it's gone up like around $2 for me. Almost. Somewhere around there. It's gone up over 100%. And, because I was able to, about a year ago, a little bit over a year ago, I was able to fill my car up on $20 fucking. Now, I'm spending 40 and over to fill my tank up. I'm like, God damn, man. And I normally fill my car up about twice a week, which gets fucking expensive. At least for me. I mean, I know there's people that have like $80 gas tanks and shit like that, right? You're spending $80 filling up the tank. There's probably more now because gas is going up. But I mean, yeah. I mean, spending $80 a week for me is on just gas is pretty fucking expensive. I mean, it could be worse, but I mean, whatever, right? That's like about $200 every week, almost every 2 weeks almost, and it's just, woo! Not fun, what I'm saying. But, yeah, that's really all I got to say. I mean, it just seems like everything is getting hit by this whole supply chain issue, and if it's affecting where you're working and you're listening to this, let me know, because I want to know how, like, what's all getting hit, because I'm pretty sure most things are getting hit by these issues, and it would be kind of cool to bullshit about it, you know? Plus, anyone that actually listens to this, it'd be cool to, like, bullshit too. Like, I like the last episode I did, someone reached out and was like, actually a couple people did actually, and like, this is great. Like, you're covering something that no one else is covering, and and saying the same shit that we're all thinking. And I was like, that just made me pretty excited to actually have some interaction with people that I don't know that listen to something I made, and they go, "Hey, I like this. You're doing a good job. Like, this is, I feel like this is accurate." So, I plan on doing like another one with the about the Transcension project, but later down the road, because I want to see where things end up going. You know, to see like, okay, well, this is what I talked about. This is what I thought about it. This is where I think it might be heading, kind of shit. But then I want to do another one to kind of sum it up after they're supposed to go to the hidden alien base. After that gets announced, I'm going to do another one, because I want to see how that plays out, if there's some kind of excuse or something for not going, or who she brings with her. Basically, I just want to see how that whole scenario plays out, and then I'm going to do another dive into everything and see how everyone that's following her, that subreddit and everything is going. Because I feel like that would be interesting to have like a wrap-up of it. Like, okay, well, this is what happened. But, yeah. It was pretty fucking awesome to get to talk to, like, a couple people about all of that over the weekend, you know? So, yeah. If you have supply chain problems at your job and you listen to this, reach out to me, because I would love to hear what issues you guys are having, because that would it'd just be interesting to hear. I mean, it sucks if you are, but I think it'd just be interesting to hear about how far the reach goes, what industries are having issues with everything. Like, I think it would just be, it'd be interesting to find out, honestly. That's really about it. And yeah, that's it. That's really it. But you can follow me on Twitter, FLOTE, and Minds at PTRH Podcast. It's the same thing for all three of those platforms. And also, I'm on Odyssey, BitChute, and YouTube. And all you have to type in is Past the Rabbit Hole Podcast, and those will pop up. Also, if you can email me at ptrhpodcast@protonmail if you would like, or whatever. That would be, it doesn't really matter for what, just don't send me phishing scams, because that's all I get in my email, some fucking how. But, I think that's it. Yeah. Thank you for listening, and if you like this episode, comment on it or comment on the show, like it, rate it, whatever, share it with people, because that would be fan-fucking-tastic. Until next time.